Hey, Pastor Josh here. We're reading Genesis chapter 44, verses 1 through 9. The brothers have just had a wonderful banquet with Joseph, and now he is going to send them back home, or he is at least going to make it appear that they are going to go back home. He is now, in this point, testing his brothers to see, are they really repentant? Do they really feel remorse for what they did to their brother Joseph and selling them, or are they just kind of just sad that they're were in this situation? Perhaps when things are better, perhaps they will turn on each other and not prove to be repentant. So he is testing his brothers in this setting. So let's see what happens. Chapter 44, verse 1. Then he, that is Joseph, commanded the steward of his house, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put each man's money in the mouth of his sack, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, with his money for the grain. And he did as Joseph told him. So if you remember last time that the brothers came to Egypt, Joseph put their money in their sack, and they went back with it again. And so he's doing the same thing again. And then he is also putting his silver cup in the sack of Benjamin. We'll see why he does that in tomorrow's reading. You can kind of guess why he might be doing that. So verse 3, as soon as the morning, then he puts a silver cup, sorry, I already said that. I forgot I already said it. And as soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away with their donkeys. So they have this big banquet that we saw in chapter 43. They go to bed, they get up, they get on their donkeys, they pack their bags. Joseph and the steward says, here's your sack of grain. Good to see you all. Have a good trip. And so they take off. And they had only gone a short distance, not long. Like I said, it appeared as if they were going back home, but Joseph has a plan to test his brothers. So after they've only gone a short distance, and then Joseph says to his steward, up, follow after the men, and when you overtake them, say to them, why have you repaid evil for good? I was nice to you, why are you being mean to me by taking my silver cup? Is it not from this that my Lord drinks, and by this that he practices divination? All these dreams that he's able to understand, he uses this silver cup to do it. Why did you take it from him? There's a great discussion on whether or not this cup, did Joseph truly use the cup to figure out what the will of the Lord is? It appears that we don't have evidence that he really used the cup for divination in talking with the Lord. It appears that he knew from the dreams. So this may just be a ploy, if you will, to talk to the brothers, thinking that this is an Egyptian. Because remember, they don't realize he's a Hebrew. They don't realize that he is their brother. They think he's an Egyptian. And so the steward then says, you have done evil in doing this. And when he overtook them, he spoke to them these words. And so here we see that the steward is overtaking the brothers. The testing has come. And we can be assured that testing will overcome us. We will be tried. We will be tested. Our faith will be tested. Are we going to trust God? Are we going to trust in ourselves? Or will we trust in something else? Temptation and testing overtakes us. And I think that's an attitude we need to adopt. And so let me give you a scripture from 2 Corinthians chapter 9. It says this, the Apostle Paul has just already told the Corinthians that they needed to practice church discipline with a particular person that was committing an egregious, terrible, open sin, and this person has now repented. And so then Paul is telling them, hey, you need to forgive this man. But I want to look at verse 9, because the Apostle Paul says, for this is why I wrote, that I might test you and know whether you are obedient in everything. He's telling them, he told them in the previous letter, you need to disfellowship with this person. You need to hand him over to the devil because it appears that he is not even a Christian. And you need to do that. And the Apostle Paul is saying that when he wrote this very difficult letter, if you've ever studied the Corinthian letters, you know that there's this reference to this rough and tough letter. But the Apostle Paul says, I wrote this to you so that I might test you and to see if you are obedient in everything. And so in the same way, Joseph is testing his brothers. Are they truly repentant? We, in our own selves and our own Christian life, we get tested. Are we going to be obedient, or are we going to cave? Are we going to obey the clear teachings of Scripture? And I say they're clear because they are clear, but sometimes we don't like to understand them like we should. We even look past them. They are clear and should be easily understood, but oftentimes our brain and even our own desires causes us not to understand it quite as it should. So testing will overtake us, and we will see whether or not we will stand in our own way. And so when this steward overtook them, he spoke to them these words. When they said to him, why does my Lord speak such words as these? What do you mean silver cup? We didn't take no silver cup. Far be it from your servants to do such a thing. Behold, the money that we found in the mouths of our sack we brought back to you from the land of Canaan. I mean, we've already walked down this trip. We had money in our sacks and we brought them back to you. So why are you speaking to us this way? How could we steal silver or gold from your Lord's house? We wouldn't do that. Notice what they say now. Verse 9, whichever of your servants is found with it shall die, and we also will be my Lord's servant. Oh no. Remember, where's the silver cup? It's in Benjamin's bag. And remember, which is the one that Jacob is going to say that he is going to pass away if Benjamin gets taken away. So as you can imagine, there's going to be a search and seizure, and they're going to find the silver cup in Benjamin's bag, and they are all going to be distraught because they think they've come to the end. Indeed, they are being tested, and we'll see. Do they succeed? Do they pass the test? We'll see that in the next video.